Summer's definitely over. We're moving rapidly into winter, and I'm trying to get into the studio here to spend some more time on some things. I've got two projects that I really want to get into. One is on scale and scaling down everyday objects and recreating them in like 1/6 scale, 1/24, 1/6, 1/12 scale, 1/6 scale, that sort of thing. But before I can do any of that, I had to really clean up around here. I've got most of the debris cleared away, but I now want to kind of rejigger and reorient and just sort of refocus the workbench to just sort of better adapt to the evolution of my making. So, is about the only way I think to put that. In that the tools I used most early on are not being used as much. I've added new tools. I've taken some other tools away. And then I've gotten more tools than when I started, and I just need to better organize things so that when I need something, I can just reach out and grab it, and I don't have to go hunt for it. And part of that is organizing the tools in a manner so it's kind of like it's what Adam Savage calls first order retrieval, and it's something I've done for as long as I can think of, but didn't have a name for it until he put a label on it for me. So one of the inspiration in my tool organization came from a TV show called The Repair Shop. On there, there's a horologist. This is a clock guy. He makes and repairs clocks. And his works area there at the repair shop, there he has kind of a rotating tool caddy. And he's got screwdrivers and things in there. And his looks to appear to be manufactured, or not manufactured, assembled from just found objects like containers and things. And then he's put it on a little Lazy Susan base, and then he can just swing around and grab what he wants. I want mine to more match what I've already got, the things that I've designed, the tool caddies I've designed. And so I went to kind of playing around with this and came up with what I think is a pretty good design. And this is how it goes. So way back before I started this project, the idea had been floating around in my head for a while. So I wanted to lay everything out and see, okay, these are all the pliers and things that I like. I want to keep these out. It was everything I had. So I wanted to lay everything out so that I can see what I have, and then I can decide, okay, how big does this thing need to be? In the end, it ended up being just, the same size as the little Lazy Susan or the little rotary table thing that I found on Amazon. Even before that, I was testing out this. It's actually a failed 3D print project. The 3D print was fine, but the project was going nowhere. So I repurposed that for this, and I just stuck the pliers on it to just kind of see how that would fit into my environment. And it worked really well, but again, you had to kind of reach around it to get to things. So the design needed to evolve. This is that tool caddy I mentioned. Sorry, there's not a better shot of it. I spent probably an hour just finding these little clips here, but this is kind of what it's based on. The caddies I designed previously were 3D printed, and it was sort of based on a simple things that 3D printers are good at. It's basically round things and flat things. So it's a tube and plate construction, if you will. And there's just the tubes are the slots where you put the tools in, and the plates sort of keep everything oriented. So in FreeCAD, I designed a 6-inch round plate that uses those same tubes that I designed for the other tool holders. And this is what it looks like in 3D. And then we go and print that, along with 2 of the larger tubes and I think 15 of the smaller ones. After that, it's just a matter of gluing everything together with some CA glue, and then we'll attach it to the little Lazy Susan hardware. which I'll put a link for in the description if you're interested. I'll also load these files, the STL files, up to my Thingiverse account, and you can download them from there. Also, the link in the description. All right, so there it is. Now, I found on Amazon, of all places, this little spinny little Lazy Susan thing, and I've been thinking about how to attach it to that because, you know, obviously we want it to stay centered on it. But I also would like to be able to, you know, remove it later. So I thought about hot glue, and then I remembered I have some tacky putty. And I think tacky putty would be perfect for this. So I'll get the tacky putty. A little bit of tacky putty left there. And I'm thinking not much, about not that much for the whole operation. Gotta revive it a bit, just stretching it. It's got a little age to it, so it's a little bit dried out, but not bad. Just that'll get it working again. Yeah, see there, we're getting some good stretch to it now. And about that much. And let's see. Yeah. There you have. Oh. See, glad I did that. Excellent. So now, where in the landscape is this going to live? After pondering things for a few minutes, I decided that everything needed to change, at least on the right-hand side of the bench. So I dumped everything out and started organizing it just to get a visual of what I had and where all I had to put it. I wasn't too fussy about what went where. I just wanted to sort of keep the kind of the art and color stuff to the right, the tools and mechanical stuff to the left. But, you know, again, they're just sort of went where it felt like it needed to go. One thing I know for sure is it's all going to change. As I get into a project, tools come out, and as I'm using them here and there, they'll lay around. Sometimes I'll put them back, sometimes I don't. But at the end of the project, when I do clean everything up, it doesn't always go back exactly where I got it from. It sort of reinterprets itself every time I clean up. So here's a little quick 3D print bonus I'm going to tack onto the end here is these little shelf brackets. They're very simple. They go in with just a couple of screws. The shelving material I used was just a piece of Sintra. It's just a piece of expanded PVC, but you could use anything. You could use a couple layers of cardboard if wanted to for this. All right, so now we've got. So we didn't do anything here. I'm definitely going to come back to that spot
and work on it some more. But then we have all the smaller hand tools organized. But here is the star of the show today. This is the rotating tool caddy. But I still have a lot of space over here that I can utilize, and a lot of junk over here that still needs somewhere to go. So the next project is going to be that space there, and what can we use to organize that. So that's still in the thought process, so we'll have to figure that out. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Thanks for hanging out, and go make something.